Now, with all the excitement surrounding Battlefield 5 at the moment, it is very much true that I've neglected Battlefield 1 here on the channel. It's been over 3 weeks now, I think, since I produced a Battlefield 1 video. The game is still very much alive and well, and we're just about to see the June patch go live, which includes a bunch of new content alongside the Shock Operations game mode. These are single map operations on 5 maps that haven't supported the mode so far. And there's a bunch of other changes coming too, and so to keep you guys informed, if you weren't already aware, even though I'm extremely late to the party, here's what you can expect to come to Battlefield 1 in the final monthly patch for the game. First of all, we will be getting 1 brand new weapon and 2 brand new variants in Battlefield 1's June update. The Burton Lmr, which is a weapon I've featured in my videos countless times over the past year, asking DICE to add it into the game, has finally made its way into the game. This wacky rifle, intended to be mounted into planes, but also had features designed for infantry use, features 2 top-loading magazines, severely obstructing your view, but uniquely comes with 2 different types of ammunition, your standard ammunition and incendiary. This is a feature DICE took from the weapon's real-life attributes and found a use for it in Battlefield 1. The incendiary rounds are intended to be used against planes and airships, inflicting greater damage than standard ammunition, but they can also be used against infantry, but at a reduced amount of damage compared to standard ammunition. Now, the Burton fires at 830 rounds a minute, which is, fairly racy. It sits with the support class, and interestingly comes equipped with a bayonet. Something tells me Flakfire is going to have one last bayonet hurrah before Battlefield 5 comes along and almost crushes his dreams completely. The Burton will come in trench and optical variants, but I know already I'm going to be sticking with the trench variant. Vision is already obstructed enough by those huge magazines sticking out of the top of the weapon, so sticking to hipfire and close quarters combat is probably going to be a good thing to do with the Burton Lmr. Moving on now to the 2 brand new variants. The first one is the M1911 Silenced, and the second is the Annihilator Storm. Now, the 1911 Silenced is the 6th different variant of the 1911 to make its way into Battlefield 1, which is a little bit excessive now, but hey, it is the world's greatest handgun, so of course, it's got to have ridiculous overrepresentation in video games. I honestly don't really care. The 1911 is a really good weapon in Battlefield 1, and likely we're going to see it again take center stage in Battlefield 5 as a really good sidearm to use. The Annihilator Storm, that gives you a new variant of the Thompson SMG to use, but this time you're going to have a little bit less recoil to deal with. However, the Annihilator is such a close quarters balanced weapon that you'd be hard pressed to find a situation where you'd notice the recoil reduction, especially if you're using it as intended, extreme close quarters. This is basically a replacement for a shotgun. Even running around an empty CTE server and spraying walls, it was hard to notice the difference. Now, beyond those 3 new weapons and variants, there are also several other weapons coming to the Assault class and the Support class with this Battlefield 1 patch. DICE has decided to unlock the Tanker and Pilot weapons, releasing them from those vehicle classes and allowing them to be used as primaries on the Assault and Support. They are split into different groups. The Assault class is getting the From a Stop auto pistol and the sawed-off double-barrel shotgun, and the Support class really does get the lion's share. It's getting the C96 Carbine, the P08 Artillery, the Piper Revolving Carbine, the 1911 Extended, the MLE 1903 Extended, and the C93 Carbine. That is quite a list for the Support class. Now, all of these, I believe, will be unlocked for use immediately. No assignments that you need to complete, nothing stupid that you need to do to get your hands on it, and then you will have some weapons that I'm quite confident a large portion of the community won't ever have used in Battlefield 1, or at least won't have used them very often. Now personally, I'm going to be going over to the support class. I want to give the Piper Carbine a go. If I remember correctly, this was a weapon the Cavalry class had access to in Battlefield 1 at a very, very early stage. I think pre-alpha, when I got to go to a Game Changers event at DICE back in late 2015, and I don't believe I've used the weapon since that point. So, it's time to go back nearly 3 years and give this weapon another try. But it's awesome to see more weapons coming as primaries to the 4 standard classes. This is actually something I think a subsection of the community have really asked for, unlocking those tanker and pilot weapons. Essentially, if you don't play in vehicles, you're never getting access to all of those weapons, so as sort of a last hurrah for Battlefield 1, it's cool to see them move over to the 4 main classes, and honestly, I didn't really think DICE was going to do that. Now, one final mention, and this goes to the medic class. The General Liu rifle is getting its alternate fire mode. I covered this in a video a while back, alongside the 1903 Springfield also getting a fix so that standard rounds, the Pedersen device, and K-bullets could all be used on the rifle or equipped on the rifle when you spawn in. The General Liu fix wasn't as easy to do. DICE took their time to get it right, and finally it will appear in the June patch as a bolt-action rifle option for the medic class. And as it turns out, the 1903 Springfield is not getting its alternate fire mode in this patch, and I don't know if it's going to come in the future. Maybe it just didn't work properly, or DICE don't have the time to fix it properly. A little bit disappointing there, but we do at least get one new addition to the medic class, the General Liu rifle. Moving away from those new weapons and players getting access to existing weapons on different classes, we're going to look at the Shock Operations game mode. This is making its first appearance in the June patch, and again seems to be like a big send-off for Battlefield 1. This is going to be a more concise, tactical version of operations than what you're used to. It only features one map instead of the usual 2 or 3, as is the case with Oil of Empires, and it has a reduced player count. 40 instead of 64. You might have remembered that Operations used to have a 40-player option until DICE removed it, favouring 64 players, just so they could get matchmaking working properly. Now they're reintroducing a different game mode with that 40-player number instead. The idea is that matches should last less time, and it sits more in line with Conquest in terms of its overall time taken. The mode will be available on Giant Shadow, Prix d'Etaher, Lupkau Pass, Zeebrugge, and River Somme. These are 5 maps included in DLC, with Giant Shadow and Prix d'Etaher being 2 now free DLC maps. The awesome thing is, though, is that playing the Shock Operations mode on the other 3 DLC maps removes the DLC restriction. Any player of Battlefield 1 can drop into Shock Operations on any of the 5 maps and play with their friends, or on their own if they want to, which is a great touch from DICE. For the best part of a year now, DICE has found more and more ways to remove the premium barrier and give more players access to more content. And it's clear to see now, with Battlefield 5 not having a premium pass, that they've been slowly working their way towards a premium-free future for the Battlefield franchise. At this point, I couldn't give 2 hoots that I paid for premium for Battlefield 1. I just want all players in the community to have access to all the content possible, and that is exactly what DICE is doing here. Now, there are a bunch of smaller fixes coming in this patch as well, but it's worth remembering this is DICE's final monthly patch for Battlefield 1, and the likelihood of us seeing a patch with this much content dropping again for the game is very, very slim now. I know it's pretty much all hands on deck at DICE at the moment for Battlefield 5 in order for them to put the finishing touches to the game and implement the final few features before the beta and launch coming later this year. That leaves very little opportunity for Battlefield 1 to be worked on, besides maybe some small bug fixes and the occasional server update. However, the content added in this update should be plenty enough to tide all players over until Battlefield 5, and of course, we have the closed alpha and open beta coming for Battlefield 5 in the next few months to look forward to as well. Lots is happening right now for Battlefield fans over the next few months. We don't actually have an official date for the June patch yet, but looking at the amount of time we've got left in the month, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be landing on the 26th of June. That's the last Tuesday of June, and Tuesday always appears to be the patch day for video games, although Battlefield 1 hasn't always done that in the past, but I'm going to go with June 26th, but nothing is confirmed at this point. And there you are. That's everything coming in the final monthly patch for Battlefield 1 in June. Let me know what you think of all of this down below in the comments section. Hopefully you're as excited as I am for this final content drop before we all move over to Battlefield 5. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications switched on. Click that bell next to the subscribe button and check they're on. That way you won't miss any of my future videos. But thanks very much for watching today, and until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.